Hello, Jeremy here. In this video, we're going to change the name of the text typer program because it no longer just types out our text. Also, we're going to add in file extension handling so that we can either display an image or text based on the file extension that we use on the command line. All right. I've already gone and renamed the text typer program. You can see that here. Rename text typer.py presenter.py. So I renamed it to presenter, and I ran it for this episode. What I'm going to do is show you how we can use this extension and do something different based on the extension. This is a technique from the old DOS days. So let's go ahead and we'll pop up next. Let's figure this out. So we're going to go down here. And I am actually going to update this a little bit. And we're going to say just file. Okay, so file is actually a built-in function which is similar to open, but I'm going to override it here. This is usually bad form because now you can't use file as a function because it's now the file that we opened. But since I'm not going to use it here, it seems okay. So actually, I don't know, what I'm going to do is say this. Let's do this. File name equals that guy. And then we can later on do this. What I am actually going to do is say file lines file equals open file. Okay. And that should give us our lines. Cool. However, I'm going to change this a little bit. What I want to do is I want to take this file handling and move it into the text typer class. So I can use a file to construct a text typer object. All right, so I'm going to copy this out or cut it out of here and go into the text typer object. I'm going to make a new method. It's going to be called a class method. Def load. You haven't seen this before. I'm going to do things and then explain what I'm doing. Okay, we also need all the other information. All of this stuff. Yeah, let's do that for now. I was considering if I wanted to do all of the other, well, considering I wanted to take the character X and the character Y and turn them into position. which is better, but I'm going to hold off on that until later. No, these are indented too much. And then what we're going to do is return text vector. Surface font color character line, and then the episode lines. And I guess I can turn them into lines. Say lines here, lines here, and then lines here. So now this is a load function that will load any file into our text typer. All right, so what this class method thing is about, this is called a decorator. Decorators modify functions, and in this case it turns this load function into a class method, which means instead of passing a self that operates on a created instance, it operates on the level of the class. Typically, these functions operate on the class to create an instance, or typically how I use them is I want a method on the class that I can use to construct a new instance in different ways. So this is the normal constructor here, which we use to build a class, but I wanted to update it and modify it a little bit so I can use a file name to load the file up and then make a text typer from that information. So this is what that is doing, and this class method is the way to do this without creating a text typer instance. So that's what this avoids, is creating the instance before calling this again, which would create another instance. So if you just did this normally, like this, what this would require you to do would be to make a new text typer, pass in all the arguments, pass in the lines. You would have to pass in all this stuff, then do load, and then pass in the stuff that you really wanted. So you'd be initially making a dummy object, and then you'd be calling load on it to actually make your true text typer object. So this is like a temp object here, and you need to make a temp.load. So that's what you would have to do if you just use the normal load. So what I want to do is do class method, and this can be called anything. I like to use class ELS to do this. So now, to do load, we would just do text typer, the class name, dot load, and pass in the parameters that we want to do. And that's a better way of doing it. It avoids you having to construct a temporary object. So now, we pass in the file name into main. Update we need to say it's the file name. And then we go to text typer and go text typer dot load. Instead of lines, we say file name. All right, and then the title image actually would be the file name as well. And this is where we need to get into, I'll put file name here. File name, even though this wouldn't really work as is. All right. So this is the point where we want to talk about the file extensions. So we're going to go into Python, the REPL, and show what we're going to do. We're going to use import os.path. And now we can do os.path.split split extension. And we put in a file name here. Yeah, we have my buffer. No, unfortunately I don't. os.path.split extension. So let's say it is script.text. So you see here it has two parts, the script part and the .text part. The .text is called a file extension. You should see this if you looked at files in your file system before, where it's just a bunch of stuff where it's like whatever .text, whatever .exe, whatever .jpg, JPEG. All right, so we're going to use this to get at the extension. So you're going to say it's the root and the extension. So the root is the first part and the extension is the extension. So we use unpacking again. So what unpacking allows you to do is simply if you have a tuple as such, I got A, B, and I want to say a variable x equals x comma y equals a comma b. It unpacks. This is called unpacking. It takes the first element, assigns it to x. The second element assigns it to y. And you can use this for anything that is like 1, 2 is for list as well, as long as I use equals. X, y. You can also go x comma y and I'll print it out like that, like a tuple. So that's tuple unpacking. And so we have the root and we have the extension. With this, I'll use the extension to determine what we're going to do. Go back next. What we will do is we will say we want image extensions. This is missing text. And we want text extensions. All right, this is a set. This is a set like a mathematical set. So it does not support duplicates. Let's pop up in the REPL yet again. Okay, so we have a set, but it does not support duplicates. So if you try to duplicate your data, like a set in math, it's going to remove the duplicates. So you can only have one of that item in a set. Sets are also unordered. This means if I try to do an order, so it will do whatever order it wants. So if you loop over this, you can't just assume that it is in any order. The advantages of using a set is they're fast to test membership. All right, so a membership test looks like this. So one in, I'm going to make it the set of numbers. So 3, 9, 1. What we test is a element is a member of a set or a unique collection actually. So the number 1 is in the set, as you can see. The number 2 is not in the set, so that should be false. Number 9 is in the set. That's true. So this is membership testing. What we're going to do is we're going to make a set of extensions and test if that extension is a member of that set. And if it's a member of that set, we're going to go ahead and load up an object based off of that. Now we're going to go back here. Text extensions will be .txt. These will be, it'll be the web link. So if you go to Pygame, you type Pygame image load, you should be able to get a list of all of these file formats it supports. All right, so let's go ahead and plop down that. Let's copy paste it. I'm going to do lowercase extensions. I'll show you how to do that properly. All right, this is going to be .jpeg. We're going to be .png, .gif, .bmp, .tcx, .tva, .tif, .ldm, and pdm, .tbm, .pgm, .ppm, and .xtm. Okay, so we have that now. These are all the supported image formats that Pygame says it supports. All right. And now we have this. So if, and we go root comment extension equals os.path.split txt file name. If extension in image extensions, we are going to do this guy. However, this is going to become I don't know what to call it. It's going to be whatever element we want to render specifically in the program. So maybe we just call it GUI element. Sure. Else is extension in text extensions. We're going to do GUI element equals text type loading. Now, okay. Also, what I want to do here is add to in the events the tick event, this dummy tick event I've been using down here. So we don't have to worry about that at that point in time. So get all the hardware events and then add this tick event that I also want to process. And now here we say GUI element dot update the event. Now we don't need these anymore because we added the tick event up here. Now I think that this should work. Oh, okay, almost. Almost got me there. Program GUI element dot draw. So tell it GUI element to draw, then flip the display. So you want to have print file extension format extension not supported. And then we want to exit out of the program, right? No. Have we initted? Yes, we've initted at this point. We want to say running is false. Running equals false. What this will do is not have it run anymore. Say running is false here, this loop will fall through. It will quit tagging and fall through down here. Brilliant. Okay. So let's see if this works. All right. Go to the repo. Set out of this. So we're going to try the typical text. I forgot to import the OS. Okay. Let's go back. Import os.path. So we use os.path. We need to import it into our namespace. Now let's go back to the repo. All right, let's CLI and try this again. Okay, list object has no attribute add. That is correct because it's append. So search for add, which is append. Okay, try again. Append tag takes exactly one argument. Yeah, I'm kidding. So let's see, go over to Emacs. So here, we forgot to deal with that. But we just want to append the event to our events list, not some others information as well. Cool. Save that out. Try again. All right. We're back in business. And we still have that bug. The bug is when I hit enter before the line finishes, it goes to the next line without finishing the other line. So it's really not that big of a deal, but it is a bit of a bug. I can probably fix later. All right. So now let's try putting in, so this is the PNG from the other day. So this is the episode 6 PNG. Let's see if this works. Boom. That worked. Okay. Now let's put this back to 0, 0. That's not offset. All right, cool. So there you go. There you have it. We've updated the code so that we can type in whatever you want on the command line, and it will either do the text display or it'll do the image display. The next episode, I want to make a switch up object called a multiplexer, where we'll be able to switch between text and image objects on the display and go back and forth, and be able to provide a list of files on the command line that will determine all of those elements. So that is the plan for the next video. Have a nice day.